Hi guys, it's Tamara. I'm back with another video today. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I welcome you this week. We're going to talk a lot more about relational trauma this week. Okay, so I'm going to do a Monday video, a Wednesday bonus video, and a Friday video. And I want to talk a little bit about how we are negatively impacted and sometimes even traumatized by the relationships we have in the company that we keep. So thank you so much for coming back to my channel, guys, for those of you who are already subscribed. And for those of you who are new, I welcome you. And I encourage you to hit the subscribe button over here, which will allow you to keep up with us as we move along on our channel. We've been working on this channel as a team for the past year, and I'm seeing it grow hourly, and it's so awesome to see it grow throughout the week. And I always tell you guys that I listen to everything that you say. So if you post a comment or ask a question, I will respond. And typically, I ask you for suggestions as well for videos. So if you have some suggestions, go ahead and put it in the comments section below, and I will add it to my roster of topics. For the past 2 weeks, we have been talking about trauma. And so we're going to start this week off by talking about relational trauma. So let's go ahead and just jump in, okay? The benefits for you today in this video is that I'm going to talk about sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists, but I'm going to give you some tips on how to identify them, right? You want to be able to zone in on them and notice some signs and red flags that is a bad relationship that can end up to become very traumatizing for you, all right? So we're going to focus on that. So, traumatizing relationships, how would you define them? How would you define them? For me, when I see clients who come to me who are adults or, I guess I could say individuals in early adulthood, right? Like 18, 19, 20, 21. When I see individuals in that age range, or I see individuals 25 to 30, sometimes 30 to 40, I'll see clients, and they're talking about the challenges they're facing when it comes to grief and loss, transitions, and relationships. When they come to me for that, I look for red flags when they talk to me about their relationships. And some of those red flags I'm going to talk about in today's video. But one of the things that these clients end up informing me of is that the relationship started out good, and they didn't see anything wrong with it. And then all of a sudden, it turned out to be a very traumatizing and demeaning relationship. And they had no idea that it was going to end up that way. All they knew is that they really liked this person, and they wanted to get to know this person. So it can be really tricky. If you're dealing with a sociopath, a psychopath, or a narcissist, you really are dealing with a socially astute person, right? They may not have empathy. They may not be book smart. They may not be methodical in a way that benefits everybody, but for the most part they're dangerous because they're narcissistic, right? They're all about themselves, so they have a lot of egocentrism going on in their world and in their relationships as well. They are also hyper focused on getting what they want, no matter how much it bothers you. And then the third thing that makes them complicated individuals and dangerous, an agent of trauma in your life, they are strategic in how to get over on you and deceive you, right? Because they know that if they deceive you, they get what they want. So let's start out with the first red flag in a relationship that could turn traumatic for you. The first is proximity and familiarity. Psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists understand one thing: that familiarity breeds like. Research studies suggest that if you know somebody or see somebody repeatedly over a certain period of time, you're going to like them. You're going to look favorably upon them, right? You're going to be able to, sorry guys, I just want to move some of these papers that's distracting me. You're going to be able to feel these feelings of familiarity and open the door to them, right? I may not know what you're like behind closed doors. I may not know that you're actually somebody who harbors a murdering tendency, but I do know that I see you every day when I leave my house. When I'm backing out my driveway, I see you every day and I wave at you, right? I might even, scream over, hello, how are you today, right? That doesn't mean that you know the person. You just are familiar with them because they're in your environment. So situations like that, if you go off of situations like that to help you determine if a person is worth your time or not, you're going to be sadly mistaken, and you're going to be deceived because, again, sociopaths and narcissists know that familiarity is what they need to get you, right? If you see them enough, you're going to start liking them. That's just how our brain works, right? Proximity is also an issue. If you are close to that individual in proximity, we park next to each other, we're on the elevator with each other every day. Another example of proximity would be like, your home, right? We walk across each other's yards every day, or when I'm out on my porch, they're out on their porch. We wave at each other, we say some words to each other, right? Proximity and familiarity is a narcissist and a sociopath and psychopath's best tool. All right. The next thing that you want to look for, and the next red flag, is rapport building. Sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists know that if they build a certain rapport with you, your defenses are going to come down, right? Psychologists do this all the time. I do it to try to understand my kids and pull them in so that they can start to grow and learn from therapy. If I just build enough rapport, then things are going to be a little bit better. You're going to bring your defenses down. You're going to open up. You're going to talk more, right? You're not going to be so guarded, and that's what they want, of course, right? So here's some examples of rapport building. Isolating you, right? Making you feel that I'm the only one that you need to be happy, right? Sharing their own personal stories to get you to open up, to get you to talk, to get you to share some private things about you as well, right? That's one. The second one is agreement, right? So agreeing with you and validating you. Something like, I see, I would feel that way too if I were you. Or, wow, you had a narcissistic husband, I have one too. And isn't it really bad? I mean, they are just completely difficult to live with, So how did you experience that, right? That's rapport building, trying to show you that we're in agreement. We're in the same situation. We line up together, right? Those are all rapport building strategies, and you have to be privy to them. All right. The next red flag is kind of having a I need help kind of an attitude, right? I need help. Can I borrow some sugar from you, right? You might get a neighbor who does that, or you might get a colleague to say, would you happen to have some coffee? Would you happen to have a pair of scissors I could borrow? My kids lost my scissors. I can't find them, and I don't have time to go out and buy any. Can I just borrow yours? Right? The I need help facade, that's enough to get you, right? Because it kind of puts you in a position of authority over them in a sense, right? I have something that you need, and it kind of makes you feel needed and wanted and that kind of thing. Oh, it's a terrible strategy. All right. The next one, and the next red flag, which would be the fourth red flag, is having somebody who showcases all their titles. So I call this person the title holder: the lawyer, the doctor, the parent, the doting mother, the pastor, the bishop, right? They utilize those titles to cloak who they really are, so that you can begin to see them, not as an individual, with their own thinking mind and their own emotions and their own cultural experiences and their own belief systems and political systems. And, you're not seeing them like that. You're seeing them based on a title that has criteria that an individual has to meet, right? So let's say, for example, you have somebody that is a doting mother. Well, what do you think of when you hear of a doting mother, right? You think of somebody who's selfless and giving and loving and providing. If you hear a title such as bishop, right? What are you going to think when you hear the title bishop? Well, you're going to think somebody who's giving and somebody who volunteers and somebody who's nice and kind. But there have been some bishops who have murdered. There have been some cases where pastors have abused sexually their congregants, right? So title holders, they know how to get over on you, all right? The fifth thing is something known as the wishful memory responsiveness, all right? That is an idea that's typically mentioned in the law realm, or it's typically mentioned in cases of sociopaths and psychopaths. Murder trials will sometimes mention that, or relationship therapists will mention this. Basically, what this is the whole idea that no matter where you're currently standing with that dangerous person, you have the ability to go back in your mind and pull up memories that the person wasn't as bad as you thought. Some people even go so far as to say, you know what, I kind of exaggerated a little bit. That person's not as bad as I thought they were. That person wasn't as bad as I thought they were. I kind of kind of made them out to be a worse person than they actually